Yo, 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 welcome everybody to TCR, Trinity Competitive Racing. We are here for round number 7 of the Golden Class, and we are here for the British Grand Prix in Silverstone. This is Season 12, if you are unaware. And I'm here with our Silver Class driver and familiar face in the commentary booth of Broomhandle. And how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me here today at Trinity Competitive Racing. Can't wait to get the British Grand Prix underway here in Golden Class and to commentate alongside you, Safries, here today in TCR. So can't wait to get the commentary started here today in Britain.
Yes, and my name is Seafreeze and Broomhandle alongside, and we will be taking you all through tonight's proceedings in the British Grand Prix for the Golden Class. For the Golden Class, we are here in Golden. I've been doing too many Silver Class races, commentaries, and it was just a matter of time. But we're on board with Bats Plus. He was your last week's winner in Golden last week, where we were at Austria, and that was his first win actually on the season. He's up here doing well in second at the moment. Just wanted to thank everyone for coming in and tuning in tonight. Make sure you grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a seat, and hopefully you are going to stick with us throughout the entire stream tonight and watch an awesome race. And for either platform, we are live on both Twitch and YouTube, so we kind of encourage you to watch on whatever platform you please to do so on. But we do appreciate all the support, and by the end of this, if you do enjoy any of the commentary or the racing or whatever we have to offer here in TCR, consider hitting the subscribe and follow buttons on either platform, and bringing the comments in as well. I love the comments throughout the stream, and that'll help us get through tonight's stream all together. And also, if for any information for TCR is down in the description below, if you want to sign up and get yourself onto the Season 12 grid, either as a driver or join the commentary booth with either me or Broom at one point or another. And we also have our Fantech affiliation link down in the description for any drivers needing some equipment. It is down there as well. So all sorts of good stuff down in the description. And yeah, what are we thinking about this race here, Broom? For qualifying for the race, what are we expecting coming into this thing?
Well, I think we're expecting a great race, as we do get a good one all the time in Golden Class. We've had some incredible races here this season in Golden Class, and I'm expecting a very similar situation here today with a lot of quick drivers, a lot of tight grid, of course, with so many different drivers looking to prove themselves to get a good result here today. I think the biggest thing we're going to be looking at as we head kind of towards the midway point of the season is that championship battle. We got Ferrari up at the top, but they are just separated by 1 point to Williams. So let's see how that all works out. Ferrari versus Williams for the championship as it stands. There's also a few other teams involved in that as well. And of course, we got that drivers championship with a few other drivers involved in that as well. But it's going to be a great battle when it comes down to the championship, and also to see who wins the race here today in Britain. But also another thing we have to mention as well is the strategy for around here. It is a very interesting strategy, as typically a one-stop is the best strategy for around here. Mainly the soft to the medium, as you want to qualify high for around here, especially you don't want to be towards the middle or the back of the pack in the first couple of turns, of course. But yeah, soft and medium strategy could be the best, but also a medium to soft would be a good option as well. But in terms of strategy, in terms of racing, in terms of that championship battle, and of course there could be rain at any moment, it's gonna be a very exciting Golden Class race here in TCR.
Well said. Well, you're already seeing a mixture of strategy. We have a few guys on the medium tire, including Bats Plus in the third position at the moment. We just was on board a lap of Silent. I think he's starting another lap now, or maybe that was his out lap. But I'll briefly go over the championship standings just so we're all aware of who is where coming into tonight's race, and who to expect to do well again here today. We have Bats Plus taking the championship lead from last round out with 74 points. He overtook Just Jose, who has 70 points, missing out last week. He's back onto the grid in that Alpine. In third place at 60 points is Chargers. He's up there in second, and he's getting a little bit more consistent with those podiums. Not yet a win, but I wouldn't count him out at this race today. For fourth place, we have Fire Flow at 56, and only 2 points behind is Silent, who just set, nope, not a purple sector. The sector line is here, but he's, now a purple sector, so I kind of envisioned it. I just felt like he had a quick lap going, and Silent is going to hopefully finish it out in the third sector, right on the limit of the curbs. TCR is using the regular limits here tonight, a mixture of course. As always, stewards will be looking at track extensions and corner cuts post-qualifying and post-race for penalties. He does improve 0.2, but that's only good enough for 10th position. He is still a second plus off the top runners now.
Yeah, Silent looking go in for a better lap here today. We'll see how that all works out. He's going through turn 3 as it stands, so we'll see if Silent can get a better lap time and put himself up further in the in this grid here today. Keep an eye on Bats Plus on the medium compound tires. You mentioned that he is on the mediums. What's interesting is that he's already set a lap time on the softs. Can he beat Bats? Can be. Let's see if he's able to do it. But Bats looking pretty quick on those mediums. It looks like he's just 0.2 up on his soft time, so he might be able to improve. And the top 3 are just separated by just a few 100ths of a second. Pretty incredible. Already we're seeing these times coming in pretty fast, and of course got those 2 Ferraris in 4th and 5th. Watch out for them in the Grand Prix. Bats Plus to the line now for Williams as he comes around the final turn now. Bats to the line, goes pole, a 126.9 on the medium compound tires. That is a very quick lap by Bats, who spins it around at turn 1 but saves the car. He has to get out of the way of the other drivers coming on track, but that is a very good lap time for Bats.
Yeah, that's a statement from the Williams drivers to go 0.6 plus over your competition on a medium tire while some others have the softs on. That's a statement. He's got some speed tonight. He's got a nice setup to do so, and you see his teammate Jones was able to do another decent lap on the mediums, down P9 as Be Good went for P3, and Sam TJ, Chargers gets it back. I think the track is improving, or maybe the drivers are getting more with grips, with the car, with the track, with the setup, just nailing the lap, because we saw a few improvements right there. But TJ doing well in an AlphaTauri in third, 27.2. Be Good also a nice lap there to sit himself 4th. A whole bunch of things happening right now. I really like the track ramp up. I think we're going to see a little bit more of that as we get closer to the end of the session. Forgotten Weeb just did a purple middle sector, and he's sitting 8th at the moment. This could catapult him right up towards the front of the grid. We'll see how he does in the final few corners. Nailing this part of the chicane, and very tricky on the traction out of this corner right here, and that'll carry the momentum to the start-finish line, and that's P5, so that's solid by the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, good lap there from Got Any Weed, puts it up into the top 5 for Ferrari, and Ferrari are going to look to get a good result here today. Of course, they're leading the championship standings at this time by 1 point to Williams, so they're going to have to get a good result. But good lap from Got Any Weeb. Same TJ. We got to mention him, of course. P3 for the AlphaTauri driver. Good lap by him, as well as Be Good coming in the pit lane, puts it P4. Chargers up there as well. You mentioned that the track is starting to ramp up. It definitely is. I mean, we're seeing a lot of times coming in, a lot of faster laps coming in, and this is really carrying this this race away. I mean, like, there's a lot of drivers that are looking to increase their race pace here today in qualifying. We'll see how it all works out. I think Latope just went P3. Very good lap time by the Haas driver. Puts it purple in the third sector as well. I think TCR Jones is on a lap as well, but he's actually invalidated this one. He had a spin just on the final turn there. So I wonder if that was the invalidation that he has, maybe because he spun off there. But TCR Jones on the medium compound tires, looking to improve on his time as well. A lot of drivers out there looking to improve. We'll see how it all works out, but Bats still has the fastest time as we head into the final minutes of the qualifying session.
Yeah, I was riding on board with the Mercedes of W, making his return to TCR last weekend out. It looked strong in the first half. The second half kind of fell off in his race, but he's about second up on his time. Good enough for P7, so that's 27.5. Puts him right into the middle of the pack. We also have a comment from Blin Machine in the comments. First comment, I guess he's the one starting the comment train. I hope we get a few more comments, a few more viewers coming in, sharing it out. The race is just about to start up, so make sure you tell those who you might think might be interested in watching the race tonight. Share it out, get them watching as well, and tell them the TCR is about to start in just a few moments. But yeah, if you are watching, send some comments in. We will appreciate that very much. He'll be commentating tomorrow, is Blin. He'll be out there. He just raced last night, and he'll be right out on the track. Actually, he was on track. Now he's in the commentary booth. We don't want to put him racing in Platinum. Not yet, Blin. You got to win that championship.
I mean, he's getting pretty close to winning that championship in the silver class. He's been really, really quick in that tier. Of course, I know from experience racing against him, he's insanely quick to catch up. So he definitely has a shot of winning the championship this year. But yeah,
here's a thing. Yeah, he's why is Perry? Look at Perry and Just Jose. They haven't set a lap. Is there a penalty I'm not aware of, or are they just not able to get a solid lap together?
I wonder if it has something to do with the track kind of moving along. I mean, we saw a lot of times at the start, and then now we're kind of into that 3-minute mark. Then we saw a lot more times coming in, a lot more faster, like almost 7/10 faster than their previous lap. I wonder if they're waiting to the last moment so they can get the track at its best to set a lap. But that's kind of being a little bit risky, you know, because that could put them really in a difficult position, because if they make one little mess up, that could end their chances of getting there. So I'm not exactly sure what they're planning, but I mean, they know what they're doing. So we'll see how it all works out. But Perry on a lap right now. Keep an eye on that McLaren driver. I do believe Silent went P3, or maybe that was another driver. I think Silent just went P3 on the mediums as well. 127.0. Oh, Perry makes a mistake. Perry makes a mistake at turn 5. That's exactly what he didn't need to happen, because now he's only got basically one more chance. I don't even know if he's able to make it to the line to set a lap time. Perry down at P16. This is really cutting it close here.
Yeah, and the time's ticking down here, Broom. I don't know if he'll be able to get back around. He's on the medium tires as well, so yeah, no, this is gonna climb. The yellow keeps popping up. I don't like that feature this year. I can't see the time. 41 seconds, so it's gonna be tight, Broom. But Just Jose is out on track, and I just checked the stewards' decisions. I did not see any penalties to either drivers. We do see them out on track, so it looks like they are trying to get a lap time in. But Just Jose's, you know, he's a championship contender, and he didn't put a lap in. And he's just starting to now, so he must have had some problems earlier in qualifying that kind of, I don't know, troubled him to get a lap in, but it's going to put all the pressure right onto this lap. So I'm going to stay on board with Just Jose and see how he does on this one opportunity that he'll be giving himself. Let's see where he can put his car today.
And by the way, keeping an eye on Just Jose's Chargers goes fastest overall, 126.8 for the Mercedes driver. The times are coming in pretty fast. By the way, Perry the dog wasn't able to make it to the time. He just had a few seconds. If he had like 3 more seconds, he would have made it. But it was just too late for Perry the dog. He's down in P15. He's going to have to make a massive recovery drive after a difficult qualifying here today. Just Jose also flying right now, so keep an eye on him. He is on the medium compound tires. Can he put it faster than his championship rival Bats Plus, and maybe take away pole from Chargers as well? Anyone else on a lap as well? I think TCR Jones is about to come across the line. The Williams driver puts it P6. Very good lap time. Top 6 for the Williams as it stands. Dream in that Red Bull coming around the final corner as well. Here comes Dream to the line. Goes P6. Jumps ahead of Jones. His teammate, You Having a Giggle, I think, is just coming across the line, but he's already finished that lap. Here comes the Ferrari of God Any Weeb. Round the final 2 corners we go. God Any Weeb. Can he put in a faster time for Scuderia Ferrari? No, he does not. He's only P10. I think Be Good is coming into the pit lane, so I think it's just Jose on track. Can he grab pole here today in Silverstone? We'll find out.
Across the line, doesn't look like it. P11 only for the Alpine driver, and that is a shock of a qualifying from Just Jose. We will have to see why. He was unable to get a lap in earlier, but that's going to give Chargers. I told you, his consistency in the last 3 races, podium, 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 and now he's got a shot at the win today. He's going to have to fend off Bats Plus behind with those medium tires. And he's going to have, both of them, Chargers, Bats Plus, Silent, they're all in the championship picture. They're starting ahead of Just Jose, one of their rivals, so that's going to help them today. We'll see how the strategy works. You see a few guys on the mediums, a few guys on the soft tires. Kind of mixed up qualifying a little bit. We have, I think, 16 drivers today, so that will shake things up. And just marginally, Chargers was able to grab pole on the difference in tire. So to me, that shows that Bats Plus and also Silent, he's right up there as well on those mediums. If they could stay out of trouble, they're looking good for the long term of the race. And other than that,
yeah,
it was a really nice qualifying, very close as well. The top 13, all within about 8/10.
Yeah, it was a very close qualifying here today. Very impressive from everyone out there. Chargers on pole for Mercedes. Takes it off of Bats Plus, starting on those mediums. Steven, the silver class driver, grabs P3, reserving in the AlphaTauri seat. But I gotta say, I think the biggest shock from today's session was Just Jose and Perry the dog. I mean, they went up really late in the qualifying session. I'm not sure if that was a strategy of theirs or something like that, but in my opinion, it didn't really work out because Perry just lost the car a little bit and unfortunately wasn't able to continue that lap.
Yeah, no, it didn't work out good. Perry, we've seen him last season really up there in the picture. He was a contender for race wins on the regular, and I don't think he's won yet this season. Let me just make sure. Yeah, no, he has, his best finish is 4th place. But the pair of Perry and Silent, that's a strong pair. So they're sitting P4, 86 points to Ferrari's 100, and they have 2 teams between them that are ahead of them. So I believe the McLarens can get something going.
Yeah.
Blinn, if you're watching, is the stream quality good? Because I'm getting a little error on my side. Just let me know in the comments or PM me. Thank you. But other than that, it's time for some predictions as we get going on the formation lap very shortly. It looks like a clear race tonight, or tonight here, maybe today over there, or in the virtual reality of the world. We're probably in midday, but it is night for us Eastern folks. So it should be a clear race and a nice race in that of the strategy. So Blinn, not Blinn. Oh my God, I'm getting things all messed up. The coffee didn't kick in there, Broom. Broom, what do you think about the strategy here tonight? And who do you think will be up on top for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd?
Oh, it's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one, Freeze. I mean, like, there's a lot of good drivers out here. I mean, we've seen it throughout the season so far. Oh, Chargers just spun.
I'm laughing because I think I've probably done that once or twice, and I know some guys watching also have done that once or twice.
It's all good. Chargers will be able to get back on track, warm those tires up, and get ready for the race. It is a very difficult corner, turn 5, and my silver class race, I had a very difficult time out of that corner, just getting the line straight. But yeah, going back to predictions, tire strategy, all that sort of thing. I think soft medium, best strategy. Still, I think that is the best strategy. It doesn't look like there's going to be any rain, as you did mention, as it looks like it's pretty clean skies out there. I'm watching on board with Chargers as there was a lot of dust coming off of the turn 8. I don't know what that was all about. But anyway, yeah, it looks like it's not going to be raining, so I think the strategy will probably be soft or medium, but medium to soft could be a good strategy as well. In terms of predictions, it's going to be really tight, but, I mean, I gotta give it to Bats Plus. I mean, he's on the medium compound tires. Basically, from around lap 7, he's going to be the faster driver than Chargers or really whoever he's around. Because the thing is that he's going to have faster tires when those soft tires start to degrade, and when he does pit, he's going to be on faster tires because he's going to have those brand new softs if he's going for that strategy, and most likely he will be going for that strategy. So I'm putting Bats up at the top. I think I gotta go Chargers P2. I gotta say Chargers P2 just because of the pace he's been showing here today, but that could be changing anytime soon. And then I'm gonna go Silent, maybe P3, but I mean, who knows? Steven's up there too. We know how quick he can be. Keep an eye on Just Jose as well. In P11, he's gonna be coming through the field. Same with Perry the dog as well as some others as well. But it's gonna be a very interesting race here today in Golden Class in terms of race results, of course.
Personally, I like Chargers up there in first position, that consistency. We got Bats Plus, and I think Dreamsy might show for his first podium here in the Golden Class. But that is just my predictions. They are always wrong. Few drivers lining up on the grid for the British Grand Prix, round number 7 of the Golden Class here in Season 12 of TCR. C-Freeze with the call. We're going to ride on board with Silent off the grid as the lights come on now. Away they go, and it's an even start. Bats gets a nice flyer. He's going to get position 1 off the jump, and Silent's going to come past through as well. Charger's struggling, but he's acclaimed to P3. STX is following right behind in that AlphaTauri, and it's all looking good. Dreamsy, though, went for a spin. I don't know if there's contact, but we have TJ, Perry, and also Jones in the mix. Oh, and Dreamsy went for another spin, so I don't know what happened there, but I don't know if he got helped around or if it was him himself under traction. As we have Chargers and Silent going side by side through, I believe this is left field.
Yep.
And onto the former pit straight here. And it doesn't look like any moves are happening farther down.
Yeah, there's not a lot of moves happening right now. I think there is after that start, I think everyone's trying to settle back in. There was a few contact, I think, maybe with a few other drivers. We saw some, like 2 or 3 drivers spinning off in the background there in turn 3. But in terms of racing so far, we've got some great action so far. Bats Plus, great start for him. That was absolutely perfect. Same with Silent as well. They're now P1 and P2. I'm sensing a little battle between these two here.
3 wide with the Alfa Romeo in the middle, splitting the Alpine and the Ferrari. That is Moraes up to P8, and that was Just Jose. He was just 7th, and now we have a few guys coming into the pits. Yes, that's Just Jose, Gotney Weeb, Perry. I suspect the bottom 3 as well to come in as well. Oh, TJ going for a nice move around the outside of the Alpine. TJ's looking quick today. I do like the speed in that AlphaTauri, and I don't mind the AlphaTauri myself.
Yeah, same TJ really flying right now. He's looking for the move on W now. So let's see if that AlphaTauri can get past. I mean, brilliant livery. I really like that one as well. It's one of my favorite, top 3 definitely for me as well. But here comes same TJ. He's got the slipstream off the Mercedes. He's gaining, and he's looking for the move. It doesn't look like he's going to get past W quite yet. He's going to have to wait just a little bit longer to try to make the move on the Mercedes driver. Now, those 2 medium compound runners, Silent and Bats Plus, may have got a good start, but the soft compound runners are faster at this time. Chargers, Steven, Latope, all right there in the action. And we got a few other drivers as well. Looks like the leaderboard interval is a little bit glitched there. That happens around lap 2, lap 3, guys. That's just normal. It will reset and get all back to normal around lap 3. But anyway, Bats Plus under pressure from Silent. Silent looking for a 2nd win this season after that incredible race that he had in China at the Shanghai International Circuit. But let's see what he can do here today. He's looking to make the move on Bats Plus. Now, DRS is not enabled until this lap, which will be lap 3 once they cross the line, of course, and then into the Wellington Straight and Hayner Straights, we will get the DRS enabled as Chargers sets the fastest lap of the race. He's got the pace, of course, with the soft compound tires, as that is the Williams of TCR Jones off the track at the exit of Brooklands and into Luffield. I wonder what happened to the Williams driver. He's down to P17. It looks like he went for a little spin as well, but he's back on track. All good there. By the way,
Bats making a mistake on traction right before the DRS, and he just was able to kind of gain a little bit of that gap. But Chargers comes down the inside, and he grabs that position as well. So Bats Plus, after getting that track position off the starting grid, Is now down to third, but I think he's going to stick with these guys right here. Chargers on those softs. Let's see if he can get past. He already got past one by mistake of Bats Plus. Let's see if he can get past Silent and kind of mix in with these medium runners. For Bats and Silent, for them to succeed in this strategy, you can't get damage, and you need to kind of get track position. It's going to be harder to overtake those soft drivers. And I hear an O?
Yep, that was you having a giggle. Sorry to interrupt you there, but yeah, you having a giggle. Just went off the track. He's back on track, all good there. But he is just had a little spin, I think, at Cops there.
And TJ also got past W. That was probably the prior lap while we were watching the front. So TJ up to 8th position as Dreamsy got past the Alpine of Capitan, and Jones is retired from the race. That's 2 races in a row for Jones, not scoring any points. Struggled 2 weeks for the Williams, for one half of the Williams. He did not have a good showing last week at Austria, and with opening lap troubles, he's going to call it early here at Britain, which is such a shame because Jones, I feel like he's pretty good around this track, and I guess things didn't. He might have had, you know what, we talk about the damage model. He could have had some big time damage, and maybe that's why he wasn't able to stick it out longer, because I know he'd probably want to stick out there for maybe a safety car, but if the damage was too much. Here comes TJ down the inside of Moraes. Nice move. TJ's looking good. I like the speed out of this AlphaTauri.
Yeah, TJ really flying right now. He took that move off of W, and now he's just made the move on the Alfa Romeo. So, good move by same TJ. Now, next up is Be Good. Can he catch up to Be Good? We'll see. He's got 6.1 seconds. We'll see if he can do that. It's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be a very interesting battle, of course. Same TJ flying through the field. Keep an eye on that AlphaTauri driver. Back up at the front, Silent still has that gap to Chargers, but I think Chargers is slightly starting to gain on that McLaren driver. I don't know if he's going to be able to overtake him with these softs. Maybe starting to degrade around lap 5, lap 6. Maybe they start to get a little bit difficult. In my silver class race, I had a little bit of issues with these soft compound runners. Maybe golden class will have a similar situation. We don't know, though. But Chargers really is flying right now. Bats, I think he's losing a little bit of time to Chargers because Steven is on the back of Bats Plus now. Steven looking for that move on the Williams drivers.
Jose.
We have El Capitan.
Sorry to interrupt. Just Jose went for a spin. He was in the wall when I got on board with him. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's setup related or wheel problems at home. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't look good with Just Jose today. It doesn't seem like any front wing damage. Maybe some other side pod damage. But yeah, he was fully alongside into the wall. It just doesn't seem like he has been able to hook it up this week, which is a shame because his he might lose some points up from the guys in the front. And I'll tell you what, Broom, the top 5 all have a shot at the win here as STX and Latope side by side. They're still side by side as we enter Maggots and Beckett's. As Latope gets the position. Yeah, that was really nice from the Haas driver. I was just saying, they're all within DRS, and then I look up, and Latope lost a few tenths from Bats in front, but now that's because they were battling, and STX might come back at him very close, and let's remember, he is a silver class reserve driver, so he usually is found in Tuesdays. He moved up today to race this one out, and he's doing a phenomenal job here. P5. And only a few seconds up the road is the leader, so he's doing quite well.
Yeah, Steven, really good job to him right now. I mean, he's battling with the golden class drivers, and he's a silver driver. You know, I mean, like you said, I mean, he's doing a good job to keep up with these golden class drivers, and really showing he's got the pace. You know, so he's on the back of Latope, coming back at. Oh, as he loses the car a little bit out of turn 5 there. But it's all good. He still has the DRS and trying to catch the Haas driver. Here he comes. He is gaining a lot of time on Latope. Let's see if he can try and make a move on the Haas driver. Maybe a similar side-by-side action. That same TJ spun around. No way. Same TJ was all going good for him. And unfortunately, he has spun off at turn 4, I do believe that is. He hasn't lost too much positions there, but he has lost a lot of time. but he could definitely still come back in this race. But that is super unfortunate for same TJ. Speaking of the AlphaTauris, the second AlphaTauri is still trying to make the move on Latope. I think
Perry.
He's going to try to...
Perry, another one. They're all going off, Broom. TJ, you got Jose, you got Perry, you got Jones, Giggle, everybody's going off. Hey, man, it could be the tire temps, it could be something's going wrong. I know that, as Perry gets a penalty for exceeding track limits. You might be able to get that one removed, but now that's the thing. Once you spin, you got to watch the temps coming back on. They're not at the ideal, measures right now, so you got to be careful for future. What are we owing?
Steven up in P5 just lost the car, went super wide there. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Steven was looking for the move on Latope, went for this try. He spins the car but saves it. He saves the car there.
That was a good save. Yeah. Oh
exactly.
Man, I thought that one was gone.
Yeah, I think Steven may be struggling with the traction out of a few corners here. He gets a little bit too much gear shifting there into the exit of 4. But he's still up there. But yeah, that was really close for Steven. Sorry to interrupt you. What were you saying before?
Oh, it doesn't matter now. I was going to point out, though, that it seems like a lot of mistakes are happening on track, most from the soft running drivers, but Charger's still doing well up in P2. How much longer do you think we'll be seeing these soft guys, on the track, or are they going to dive in to put the mediums on? You still see Chargers doing well and being able to keep with the medium runners of Silent. Bats Plus is still within DRS right behind. We see Latope and STX. They were right in DRS with these 3, and now they're 4 seconds back or more, as Silent kind of fakes into the pit lane, but it doesn't make sense why he would pit. So I'm expecting the next few laps, soft drivers will head into the pit lane.
As here comes Steven. As you say that, comes into the pit lane.
Yeah, he probably felt the wear or something, as Perry is going to be another retirement. He seems like he crashed out on track.
He did. He crashed out of turn 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
That could have been the tire temps, because he did just spin a few corners prior. It could be the tire temps issue. Or
yeah,
it could have been,
we
we saw STX almost lose it there as well, so it could have been a similar problem.
Yeah, I think going back to your question about the tire degradation and when do you think these drivers are going to pit, it's very interesting, because the thing is that around Britain, tire wear is not really a huge issue. But in my silver class race last time out, I found it really hard to control the car with the soft compound tires, especially into exits of corners. And I'm seeing a very similar situation out there on track here today in Golden Class. I wonder if maybe Cody's changed something just a little bit. I don't know exactly. Here comes Chargers, though. We'll keep an eye on what I was talking about a little bit later, because here comes Chargers. Defending. Chargers going for the move down the inside. The Mercedes driver goes, and he is taking first position off of Silent, but Silent all over the back of Chargers. Let's see if he can try and make a move. Round the outside, Silence goes, but Chargers just about gets ahead of that McLaren, but Silent still all over the back of Chargers as we head down into the Hamilton straight. Silent on the back of Chargers. Is he looking to make the move into turn 3? We'll find out in just a moment's time, but Chargers looks to keep that position. Silent looking for the move into turn 3, but is way too far back. Can't get past the Mercedes driver quite yet. Let's see if Silent can maybe make a move into turn 6, which is Brooklyn's, of course, down the Wellington straight. Out of turn 5, it looks like Chargers may have got a better line out of there, but here comes Silent, has the DRS, but I just don't think he has enough slipstream. I think those softs have just got way more pace in a straight line, but through the corners, seems like Silent is a lot faster, and plus, he has to save a lot of that ERS, because here comes Bats Plus right in the back of the McLaren as well. It's getting very interesting up at the front.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to make a move, it's going to be down the hangar straight, down to Stowe. So maybe Silent is just lining up a move, wasn't able to get it on the Wellington straight.
Yeah, I think he's just lining up that move into the Stowe corner, of course, like you mentioned. So we'll see how that all works out. We're going to find out in just a second. Keep an eye on Bats Plus right there. It's a three-way battle for first position as it stands. Silent a lot closer this time. He's not using any ERS, but he is gaining a lot of time on Chargers. He's looking for the move down the inside, but back, it has head into the outside line there. Can't get past Chargers quite yet. Bats Plus just right there in the distance looking for the move as well. Maybe if these two make contact, Bats is just looking to get up into first place, but I think he wants to get in the action as well. These three really battling for position. We have to keep an eye on the tire life of Chargers as well. Will he pit this lap or go a little bit longer? Be good coming into the pit lane, so keep an eye on that as well. But Chargers, I mean, he's probably going to have to pit this lap, because if he doesn't, if he stays out a little bit longer, then those tires are going to degrade too much. Then Silent and Bats are just going to overtake him, and then he might just lose the position here. He has to come into this lap. That's, I think, the best solution for Chargers.
Yeah, unless he's just out there trying to, you know, mess with those on the mediums. He did have a gap back to Latope and some other drivers that were a few seconds back, so you know, if they pit, it's not going to be the end of the world. That undercut won't be that strong, so Chargers can afford to go a few extra laps, possibly, if he just wants to kind of hold up these medium runners of Silent and Bats, maybe force an issue. You know, Silent and Bats, they know Chargers is on the alternate strategy. We just don't know how it's going to line up, and you know, possibly we've seen a few retirements. We might see another safety car. We haven't seen one in a little while since the patch, so we don't know if that's still a thing. But Silent making a move on Chargers, goes down to the racing line. It should be a nice easy move by the end of the straightaway into Stowe. The McLaren is back ahead. Chargers very struggling through that corner. He's going to come into the pits this time. Watch your speed. Hits the line. It's going to be good.
Yeah, he was locking up there as well, making sure that he's able to get that line. That speed in into that pit lane is very difficult, because the thing is too is that I think it's actually supposed to be a little bit. You have to hack your life, but in this the speed is actually less. So I think it's like 37 miles per hour in that pit lane, but in real life it's like, I don't know, 50 miles per hour or something like that.
You know what? It might be in real life. Maybe I've always thought Britain's pit lane is slow and it's long. That's why you can only do a one-stop here. It is almost impossible for a two-stop strategy to work at Britain, because the pit lane is just you lose too much time, you know, and it kind of forces the one-stop strategy. So they might have increased the speed in real life. That is something that I should kind of look into. Maybe the game didn't pick it up, but yeah, it's very slow. It's like 35 miles per hour. I don't know what the other alternative is in the other thing. So we have Latope close on STX. So Chargers was able to get out 3.5 seconds over STX, so he was able to cover Latope and STX off. So no threat there. And I'm going to look at the gap now from the interval from Silent and Bats. It's looking like a 31-second between us all, and Bats pits now.
What? That is really surprising. Is he going for the hards? I actually have no idea why. I wonder if... Did he get damaged somewhere? I don't think he did. He is pitting for the soft compound tires. Bats Plus into the pit lane onto the softs. That is quite early, but it is possible you can go for the softs. But that is a very different strategy to what I was expecting there.
You know, I tell you what, this is a misplay by Bats Plus. The softs are not going to get you to the end of the race, and a two-stop is not going to win you the race. I know that for a fact. Don't want to showboast, but I might have won a British Grand Prix once or twice or more in TCR, and that's not the way to go. And I will be very surprised if he is able to make this thing work, because that pit lane is so slow. You're going to lose so much time, and these softs, I don't know. I just don't think they're going to get to the end. I think the mediums are going to be very strong towards the end of the race. You know, Britain is very high speed. You need grip in the high speed corners. A lot of it is high speed. So if those tires come off, you know, it's high risk that there's going to be an incident, that's going to be a wreck. So Bats Plus pitting very early. I mean, we see W and same TJ 11 laps on those tires. I just don't see it. I mean, if the medium Silent responds on lap 12, and let's see where Silent will come out, I just don't see the softs going longer than the mediums.
I think It's possible. I mean, I've taken softs from around lap 13 around now onward, and it's worked out before, but you have to really conserve them a lot. I mean, like, it's going to be really touch and go towards the end of it. I mean, it's going to be really difficult. But Silent does respond. That is interesting. And the question now is on my mind. Will Bats Plus jump Silent in the pit lane? And it's looking like a yes. As he comes round, and looks like he has got him. Silent drops down to P2.
And Chargers is right behind, a second and a half. He sees the top two. Now this is advantage Chargers with the tire advantage of the medium tire. He's a few tenths, maybe about a second or so out of the DRS of Silent. Don't forget the soft runners of Bats and Silent will be increasing the gap for a majority of laps, back to back to back, up until the last maybe 5 laps or so, and then the Chargers is going to start to reel them back in. And he's got none of the drivers have much traffic besides each other, so they don't have really anyone else in the way. They just kind of run their own race and see how the strategy plays out. But that is a very shocking, surprising move. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, me either. I was kind of expecting them to pit around lap 15. That's kind of where I was expecting them to pit, but they pit around 3 or 4 laps sooner than what we were expecting. You know, man, that's pretty interesting, and who knows? It could work out for them. But here comes Latope on Steven, or sorry, STX, of course, the Haas driver down the inside. Here comes Latope. Can he get past Steven? Ooh, it's almost contact between the two, but STX gets ahead of the Haas driver, of course. So good move from STX, was able to keep it going and defend well to keep ahead of Latope. So good to see that. W pits as well for Mercedes onto a fresh set of medium compound tires, but up at the front, Silent on Bats Plus.
Oh, STX almost lost the back end as well, like we saw earlier. Latope's going to go down the inside of the AlphaTauri. He's going to grab the position for now. We'll see who gets DRS on the Wellington. And it looks like it's going to be the AlphaTauri. Yeah, the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, here comes STX on Latope. Down the inside goes the AlphaTauri driver. Who's going to come out ahead? The side-by-side through left field we go. And it looks like the AlphaTauri trying to go around the outside of Latope. This is going to work out. Ooh, it's very close to contact between the two, but these two are absolutely putting on a great performance here today. Coming down into comps, hopefully not Verstappen and Hamilton repeat. It's not going to be, and it looks like Latope will just come out ahead. But here comes to STX to the inside, and is looking to make a move in Maggots and Beckett's, but he has to back off. He can't go side by side in Maggots and Beckett's. It's very difficult to do. But here comes STX down to the DRS zone. We go as Silent gets past Bats Plus. The two go side by side as well. Keep an eye on that battle as the McLaren looks to get ahead. Bats Plus trying to go maybe around the outside, but no, has to back off there. Back onto the battle for fourth. Looks like STX cast to keep behind Latope. Latope keeps ahead, but STX, almost loses the car there, but thankfully keeps it going on track.
Oh my goodness, he's got good reaction skills, great battling, great defense, but Latope was able to grab it. Man, Steven, he's got some problems here with his setup. He's got to maybe take a breather or two to compose himself, because he lost the car 3, 4, or maybe 5 times on that lap. But he caught it every single time, so props to him. Good car control by both drivers. Back to the front, very close. Silent and Bats. We saw last week in the Austrian Grand Prix. It was Silent and Bats Steven going for it. Oh, he's out. No, he's out. He's still good. We gotta watch out. Be good. Oh, went for a spin. That's the second AlphaTauri spin we've seen today. We have a VSC on the track, and that's going to neutralize the field. But we saw last week at Austria, the VSC is still an opportunity for drivers to gain on the drivers ahead if they're keeping it too cautious. And if you remember last week, Silent was the one in P2. Bats was leading. VSC came out and Silent gained a bunch of seconds, because I believe Bats was just taking it much more conservatively, because we do know if you speed and go quicker in the Delta under VSC, I believe it is a drive-through penalty, which completely will ruin your race. So I hope everyone can admit by the Delta time and stay positive in the green, because a drive-through at Britain is not fun.
Yeah, it really is not fun. I mean, we mentioned it many times that the pit lane is so long for around here. I think it is the longest pit lane on the calendar. I think in 2020 it was not, because Vietnam might have been the longest pit lane on the calendar, but this one, a very difficult pit lane, and you do not want to get a drive-through penalty. As STX comes into the pit lane, he kept it going for as long as he could, but just had that spin at turn 5. Difficult to see that, of course, as STX was doing a great job here today, but all good. He will pit and get a new front wing for the AlphaTauri driver. He is a silver class driver, and if I'm not mistaken, golden class runs no traction, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, just the racing line in golden. Some drivers run and opt with no racing line, which I applaud from those drivers using the full no assist, just trying to improve. And then platinum tomorrow runs fully no assist, not even the racing line. Silver's a mixture, so if you're wondering about joining, those are kind of the class restrictions. But most guys in silver, you know, they're entering the league and they're trying to get those assists off, and it's a great opportunity for drivers to come in and actually learn and race with guys who have a little bit more experience. And we see that with STX almost on a weekly basis, coming in and reserving for golden, and that's been helping him in silver. It's been helping him here in golden get that experience, and then maybe next season we might even see him more in golden, potentially, if he decides to move up and have a great season, which I think he's already grabbed a win in silver before this season, or throughout the season of season 12, so he's been doing quite well. We have a car parked. Who's this? El Capitan. He's cutting the grass, letting the guys go. Appreciate it. That section of the track looked cut already, but I guess he wanted a lower trim.
Yes, doing a Valtteri Bottas, if you know what I mean there.
And you know what? I tell you what, it's so weird to see Just Jose and Fire Flow, two guys we usually see up at the top 5 and competing for wins and podiums, battling for 13th and 14th here at Britain, a track that is usually a driver's track. It's very odd. And the other Ferrari of Gotny Weeb, he had somewhat decent pace in qualifying. We'll see how the strategies play out. We do see Gotny Weeb on those softs. And STX just came out right behind him. They both pitted at the same time. As we go back towards the front, it's going to be the top 2. I thought a move was lining up, but it was not enough room for Bats to get by. And week by week, Silent and Bats and the other competitors, they're starting to realize how each other, you know, kind of act in certain situations. And to me, that's the most fun of it all in league racing, is starting to know your competitor and trying to outsmart them, because you always, it's kind of like a game of chess. You really have to outsmart your competitor. And Bats and Silent, they've raced with each other last season and prior seasons. They know what each other are going to do. I believe Bats is just kind of chilling at the moment, as is Silent. I think they're just kind of getting a few laps under their belt until they are going to go all out for it. Remember, Chargers is 5 seconds behind on those medium tires. He is still losing a few tenths per lap, but in just a few moments' time, he should start to gain a little by little. But my only question is, you know, if Silent and Bats keep working together with the DRS, it might be even harder for Chargers to catch up. So this might even favor the Silent and Bats, but I just still, those soft tires at the end, they are going to be absolutely worn.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this all works out with the strategy. I mean, Silent on those softs, I think he might have the best opportunity here, because the thing is that Bats Plus is pushing a lot. He is pushing a lot on the McLaren driver, and that's degrading his tires a little bit more. Silent is really just trying to keep ahead, and that's really worked out for him. By the way, we also have a nice little battle for P11 as it stands. Steven and Gani, we really trading positions, having some switchback maneuvers, and these two are usually battling for top positions. Right now are battling for P11, but it is some great action on track we are seeing. Yeah, going back to what we were saying before with the tire strategy. I don't know how these softs are going to last either. Chargers could come through the field towards the end of the Grand Prix. We can see how that all works out. But right now, I think Silent might have the best chance of winning this Grand Prix due to Bats' tires maybe starting to degrade just a tiny bit towards the end of the race, more than Silent, just due to him pushing a lot more. Here comes Steven on Godany Weeb. The AlphaTauri driver looking for the move on the Ferrari, going to the inside but faking to the outside line. Here comes the AlphaTauri around the outside. Oh, a little bit wheel baiting between the two drivers, but I think it's all good as the AlphaTauri just about gets ahead and STX moves up into P11. But here comes the Godany Weeb down the inside. Oh, that was brilliant from the Ferrari driver. That really was late, but he made the move. Oh, Steven loses the car a little bit there, but he's going to be down in P12. That might go into one of those that moment of I think it's like the best moves of the season. You know, that would be pretty good. As Godany Weeb made a brilliant move on the AlphaTauri.
Oh, and it's not done yet. STX still coming back. I mean, these drivers both pitted at the same time, so the tire wear on both is equal, and they're very equal drivers. STX going again down the inside now, and he should have it a little bit easier this time by, but it's going to be a battle to the end between these two. Right outside the points, about 3.5 off of Giggle, and Giggle's, he's on only tire I've seen today, only driver I've seen today to put on the hard tires, and those things, I don't know what I would rather have, hards that are 14 laps or softs that are 14 laps. They both sound pretty bad to me, as TJ improving from that earlier spin earlier on in the Grand Prix to get back P8. That was on Moreas in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, TJ is coming through the field. He might have an opportunity to make a move on Dream as well. 7 seconds, but he is on fresher tires than the Red Bull driver, so we could see same TJ and that AlphaTauri come through the field as well. We'll see how that works out. As Godany Weeb and STX go side by side down into turn 16 to 2. Continue the battle as Steven looking for the switchback maneuver on the Ferrari driver. Ooh! It's very close to contact through that last turn, but they keep it going. Godany Weeb defending the inside line, but Steven goes for the switchback maneuver on the Ferrari. As that is a yellow flag, I think that might be fire up flow. Possibly spinning off there. Let's keep an eye on Bats plus is Silent as well. Bats is getting very close to the back of Silent, but that is fire up flow off the track. Did you see what happened to the Ferrari driver spinning off there?
No, I did not. As Dreamsy disconnect here, that's going to open the door for TJ as STX another repeat move down the inside as last lap. And the Ferrari's going to stick it down into left field down the inside. Multiple lines you could take through this corner, both giving each other the room, both giving each other the space. This is what I like to see here in Golden Class, as STX still onto the back of the Ferrari. Just so close to these corners. This is high speed. There's a lot of dirty air coming off, and he's right on the back gearbox of Godany. He's gonna grab the DRS here onto the hanger straight, and it's gonna just repeat to the end of the race. This is great, great stuff.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see in racing, and I mean, like, this is just incredible racing between the two here. I mean, it may not be for points, but it's just for good racing. That's what we're here for to do, you know, to show some good racing on track. Respectable, clean racing that's fun, you know. That's what we're seeing right now. Steven defending that line. Godany Weeb looking for the move. Down the Hamilton straight we go. That Ferrari trying to make a move. STX defends the inside line. This is just great racing between the two. As a whole, it's just so close to contact, but they keep it going. And this is just incredible to watch. STX going for the switchback maneuver into turn 3. Turn 4 we go now into 5. Can STX get a better exit? They got equal exits basically, but STX has got the slipstream, he's got the DRS, he's got the ERS, he's got the pace, and the AlphaTauri looks to go down the inside on Godany Weeb, but he's going to keep it going. Godany Weeb is going as he's going through turn 7 now. Left field as STX switches it to the other side of the track. Godany Weeb keeps it going, and this is just great racing between the two.
He pulled the switch back, the defense, the double switch, the no look, the Hail Mary, everything. He's throwing everything into this battle. I love it. Everything's coming out all for nothing. They're P11.
Yeah, this is just absolutely incredible to see. I mean, these guys are just going for it right now. They are absolutely going for it. XTX may have got the gap, but here comes Godany Weeb. He's looking to come back. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. And they're starting to catch you having a giggle as well. So they're having fun and catching the driver ahead. This is working out for them a lot. Up at the front, I think we got to keep an eye on Bats Plus and Silent as well. When do you think Bats is going to try and make the move on Silent? Do you think is he going to make the move on Silent? Do you think he has enough pace to do it? I mean, he's got the pace. He has a lot of ERS. It's just about him now. He's playing the safe. What do you think is Bats Plus' plan here? When do you think he's going to make the overtake?
I don't know if he can. Personally, I didn't see him overtake a car yet today. Besides maybe a lap car that was maybe on an alternate strategy, and he got him in the pit stop phase. We saw Silent overtake, we saw Chargers overtake. The only thing Bats Plus did was right off the start of the race. Other than that, he's dropped positions from Chargers. I don't know, maybe it's something setup related, maybe he's saving his battery, waiting for his time. We've seen this multiple times in multiple seasons of drivers waiting to the last second. But I don't know. It's very hard to overtake here at Britain because of the dirty air. But then you look at the other example of Gottlieb Weeb and STX, and they're showing there's no dirty air at all, as there's more battling right before Maggots and Beckett's for these two in 11th, but they backed out of it. So I'm not too sure. I think Silent has the upper hand. I think he is going to be able to hold on to this. And you know what? I am very surprised that the softs are still working the way they are. And I really just didn't think they'd be going, that many laps. I think they were able to build up a certain big amount of gap to where they were kind of have a safe haven to Chargers and those behind. But I just didn't think they'd last longer, almost longer than the mediums. I just thought they'd have to pit, as we have Bats actually making an overtake with Silent. Coming to the final chicane here. And Bats going to grab it off the last corner. So maybe he just dumped the battery. I wasn't not on board with Bats Plus. They both have, I would say, similar battery. Maybe Bats Plus a little bit more. Silent's going to have a very good opportunity to go down the inside if he wants it. Oh, very close between the two. Almost a front wing loss for the McLaren, as Silent's going to have the DRS onto the Wellington straight. Bats is going to have to defend if he wants to keep this position. He'll have another opportunity as we're on lap 24 of 26. McLaren around the outside, Brooklyn. And Bats keeps it into left field. Nice defensive maneuver, and I think Silent's going to have to replicate the same move Bats did, which is on right after the S section down to Stowe. I think that's your most potential to get past here at Britain.
Yeah, Silent really pressurizing Bats, and I think that move that you just mentioned at turn 15, which is Stowe, of course, that is going to be the best place for Silent to make the move on Bats Plus, as he's going to try the opportunity again. This is where the battle is happening, viewers. This is time. It's time for the battle for first. As Silent goes around the outside of Bats Plus, is he going to keep it going? Bats has his nose in there, but I think Bats might just get ahead. Silent backs off. Bats keeps this going. Silent is pressurizing Bats a lot here, and I wonder if that is affecting Bats' tire wear. I wonder if that's affecting Silent's tire wear. We don't know exactly. I think it's just true racing right here. They're just going for it, and let's see how this all works out. But Silent, I think he's going to try every little second he can to try and get Bats Plus. He knows that he can get his second win here today. Silent can, and I think Bats Plus, if I'm not mistaken, this would be his second win as well this season.
This would be, yeah, they're both going for number 2. They both have a win under their belt, both in the top 5 in the championship. Bats is your leader in the championship, so the last thing he needs is a DNF here. He needs to finish either first or second, but nothing else. So he's got to be careful if I'm Bats Plus. Silent can take a little bit more risk because he's the one needing to play catch-up. And I think Silent will put more risk on the table than Bats Plus. But from what we've seen today, it seems like they're both putting some risk out there. But we're on lap 25 of 26. This could be maybe 1, maybe 2 more chances down this straightaway. As Silent is going to have it on Bats Plus here. It's going to be a drag race down to Stowe. And I think this is going to give Silent the lead. Yes, it has. So Bats is going to have one opportunity on the last lap. Can he overtake Silent to get to the win? I'm not too sure.
Well, let's see. It's Bats Plus. Let me make the move on Silent. Silent got that gap, though. 5/10 of a second now. Bats has to start catching up to Silent. That move into Stowe really helped out Silent to get up there. Bats, though, starting to gain a little bit of time. Through turn 3 we go. He's going to have around 2 chances to make the move on Silent. Maybe 3 if he can get very close at turn 16, the final couple of corners there. Here's the first. Wellington straight now. I think he's just a little too far back, but he's going to use this as the slingshot to Silent. Here comes the Williams driver trying to make the move on Silent. Let's see if he can make the move.
And this is crucial out of the S section. Bats Plus has to get to the back of Silent at the start of the S section at a good time so he can gain through the S section. You don't want to lose there with the dirty air. He's got to time this right, and I think he's got one opportunity with that DRS. He's going to dump the battery, but Silent's going to do the same thing. The only difference is he won't have DRS. As a nice move here, Bats misses the entry a little bit. It's going to be a better exit for Silent. Let's see now, does the Williams have anything? A half a second back.
He's gaining. Here comes Bats Plus round the outside of Silent. Oh, it's so close to contact. Bats goes a little bit wide. They're side by side through the final 3 corners we go. Who's gonna come out ahead? Bats and Silent side by side. It's almost contact between the two. Bats Plus has to yield though, because Silent is coming across the line to win the British Grand Prix by just 1/10 of a second to Bats Plus. What an amazing race that truly was. Silent holds off Bats Plus. Bats Plus had to back out there because Silent had to just get it. He did it, and he did it well. Silent wins his 2nd win in TCR this season, and he takes the win here today in Britain. Bats Plus is P2, but my goodness, what a finale race of this British Grand Prix it truly was. Incredible work.
And I don't want to take the eyes off for P11 because these two have been going at it. Gagne Weeb and STX still side by side through Maggins and Beckett. It's now through Chapel. Ferrari out ahead. STX, and they're just battling the battle. Let's see. They're going to have the DRS. Gagne Weeb's going to defend the inside. STX the outside. Down to Stowe. Side by side. Still side by side. The Ferrari's going to have the edge through the corner. STX going to have the inside for the next. Deep goes the Ferrari. He's going to have the inside for the next corner. He's going to squeeze him out onto the traction. It's going to be Gagne Weeb as STX spins right across the line. Great battling between the two. And the great thing is they both survived till the end. They did not take each other out, as did Silent and Bats. Very respectful between the two. That was some really good battling. I would love to see the footage and onboards from Gagne Weeb and STX. STX also had some nice battles with the Taupe earlier on. They were going back and forth. We've seen nice battles with Bat Plus, Silent, and Chargers as well. And I got to be honest, I am very surprised that strategy worked out for Silent and Bat Plus because they both finished 1 and 2. I was not expecting the softs to last as much as they did. I think they pitted early, but maybe in this game punctures are not really, I guess, as easy as in previous. I wouldn't really know. I don't really play the game. So maybe it's just a matter of you might lose some speed, but you're not going to really lose the tire. And I think that was what happened here today. So props to them. They played that beautifully. And yeah, 1st and 2nd for them to win that strategy. And it was your pole sitter, Chargers, dropped down from 1st to 3rd, but he'll be take another podium this week. I think that's 5 in a row for Chargers, if I'm correct. Taupe, good battles with STX. He's 4th. He's your lead Canadian. Following Bgood, solid finish by Bgood, and also W, his 1st point since returning to TCR Dreams. He with the disconnect. He was able to get back in for 7th. Moraes and TJ both had some good showings there in the points. Giggle just able to snag 10th. He put on the hard tire, only driver to do so. Gagne Weeb and STX. I mean, hats off to them too. Great battles. Just Jose, Capitan, Fireflow, Perry, and Jones all had problems today, but it was Fire Up and Lower. We have Perry and Jones both had DNFs. No safety cars other than a VSC. No weather, just a straight up 50%. Great strategy, great battling. Race at Britain. in the Golden class, and it came all down to 1/10 of a second. That's what I want to see. That was an awesome race. I hope everyone else was enjoying. We didn't really have much time to interact with you guys. I see a few guys in the comments, but we really do appreciate all the support on either platform, either Twitch or YouTube, and appreciate all the support. Hope you enjoyed the race. Hit the like button, and we're gonna get into the post-race interviews very shortly. Broom's adding the players in, and before you all head off, don't forget to tune into tomorrow for the Platinum class. For their British Grand Prix, it is the 50% race. Last 2 seasons they've been running the 100%, but actually we reverted it back to the 50%. That 100% race is the finale for Platinum, so it is the regular 50% for tomorrow. But we're going to get the drivers in here, do some post-race interviews, and we're going to call this one a great race.
And I just added all 3, so I think we just saw Bats Plus. I think Silent joined us as well, and then Chargers should be joining very shortly as well. But I gotta say, what a race that truly was. An incredible event here today in Britain. What a showdown till the end of that. I mean, for the lead of the race, also for P11 and P12, that was a great battle as well. And throughout the race, it was absolutely incredible. So anyway, I think we're just waiting on Chargers, and then we should be good to go.
Awesome. There's Chargers there.
Actually, I think did he just join? No, it doesn't look like it. I don't think Chargers is in quite yet.
Oh man,
but we do have the top 2.
I would love to start with Chargers, but if we don't have them right now, we're gonna have to go to the top 2. We will go to the Williams of Bats Plus. Oh, so close in the end. A great battling between Silent and yourself. Wasn't able to get the win. It was very similar to last week. Silent got the you got the edge on Silent last week, and it seems like he was able to pull some extra stuff out of the textbook and get you here today. What was the factor of you not being able to close it here at Britain?
I think I hit the brakes a little early going into the last chicane. Because I didn't want to drive into him and go off the track. So yeah, I ended up braking like a hair early, and that's pretty much what cost the win for that race.
There was a little bit of a shoving through the last corner. Do you think Silent pushed you off? Was it fair in the end? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it was okay. I came through really late, and I knew I was just going to have to try to rip it into the turn and hope that it didn't spin. And I did that, and at the same time I didn't really know where his car was. Because I think I was ahead through the middle of the corner somehow, and I didn't want to clamp down and spin him, so I just kind of let it drift out towards the curbs, and then I think he did squeeze me off like on the exit because he was close to the curb, but that doesn't really matter that much in that corner. So I basically just tried to beat him down into the last chicane and just couldn't get by. That's pretty much it.
Well, awesome. Well, congratulations on your P2. Broom, do you have any questions for Bats Plus?
I do. First off, I want to say congrats on second place there. That was so close between Silent and yourself. You pushed him all the way to the end of that one. So great congrats on that battle there. But my question is actually about the strategy that you chose for. You were the first of, I'd say, the two of you to pit onto the soft compound tires quite early, I would say. Me and Steve Freeze were kind of doubting if that was going to work out or something like that, but you pulled it off. You really did pull that one off. My question is to you, were you always going to go for the early strategy, or were you going to go, was that kind of just last minute? What was your thoughts on that?
I was always going to pit early, and I think I was planning on going in on lap 10, maybe even lap 9, depending on how the race was going. I was actually going to pit on the lap that Chargers pitted, but once I saw him go in, I didn't want to risk following him in and running into him or something like that, so I just stayed out an extra lap. But I think I could do like 18 laps on the softs, so they don't really lose a lot of delta. and none of the tires do on this track. So, you know, that's why I, you know, chose to qualify on the mediums and go to the softs for most of the race.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I was actually very, very surprised when I saw you pit. You know, I know this track is a one stop, but when I saw you pit, I'm like, man, I don't know if these are going to get to the end. I'm thinking he's going for like a two stop, but then as it gets closer and closer, I'm like, oh, I think they're going to get to the end, actually very easily, and it really showed the degradation wasn't so bad on the softs. So that was actually a very big surprise for myself. So that's actually
I didn't
really cool to see that work.
Yeah, I didn't really think that would be possible, but I was playing around in practice, and like the deltas aren't that far off from the softs and mediums to begin with, and then for whatever reason I used the hards, and I ran like 20 laps on them, and they only lost like 0.2 seconds. So I figured, well, if the hards aren't losing any, then maybe the other ones won't. So I, you know, ran like 10 laps on the softs, and they only lost like a half second or something light. So I figured, well, as long as they can finish the race, they're not really going to lose a lot of time. So it's better to have the faster tire for most of the race if there's no tire degradation.
For sure. Well, yeah, it worked out well. Congrats again, and hats off to the nice strategy. I like that. I'll have to write that one down in the old book. But we're gonna go to.
I wasn't sure if Silent was gonna do it though. So
I mean, he followed you right back. He responded right back. Yeah, he probably had that one covered too. He knew what was gonna happen, and I think once he saw that you pitted, I think that kind of confirmed, all right, well, if he's going to get to the end, I'm going to go now and not lose so much time, which I think was also the right choice on his end.
Yeah, I think I picked up 2 seconds on the undercut, too.
Yeah, it is quite big. We've seen that throughout pit stop phases.
And I think if I had one more DRS, like one more straight or couple of corners to get out of DRS or stay all of his, and it would have been a lot tougher for him to get back into it. But he had a pretty good outlap too, so he caught right back up.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, good stuff. And we're gonna now move to we're gonna go back to P3, and then we'll finish with Silent at the end. Chargers for P3 in the Mercedes. Let me just switch my thing here. I always forget to do that in the showroom. I always just stick with the one car, but I'm remembering to switch it this week. Chargers. That's your 4th podium in a row. Some great consistency. I actually had you for the win. You had the speed to do it. I think it was just a strategy. I think these other two had the favorited strategy, where I thought this one probably could have worked out. Do you think that's what went wrong today? Other than that, your speed I felt was there.
Yeah, the medium soft was a better strategy. I do think they also have more pace than me here. The pace didn't really feel great around here. I was really surprised I got pole. That lap didn't even feel that good. A lot of like the faster guys were on medium, so that's kind of why. Yeah, the start was terrible, and then getting passed by both Bass and Silent, and then at that point I kind of knew that the win was kind of lost at that point, unless something crazy happened. So I mean, I was kind of hoping for a safety car in that first, or pretty early in the race. Once that didn't happen, I kind of knew it was going to be tough. I was pretty surprised that they overcut me. I thought I was going to be able to get out ahead of them. But yeah, once they both got out ahead of me, it kind of was just like, oh shit, last week, seeing them drive away on the faster tire, and it was kind of a lonely last half of the race.
And Broom, do you have any questions for Chargers?
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, congrats on 3rd. Also, congrats on pole as well. You also put on a really good performance then as well as the race. But I want to talk to you just a tiny bit more about that strategy. You went for the softs to mediums, and we kind of saw in the race that the softs weren't really the best tire, as they usually are here at Silverstone. I've noticed that the softs kind of degraded a little bit more, and maybe had a little bit more difficulty through corners, like a lot more understeer, and oversteer at the same time, actually. I want to get your thoughts on that. How did you find the soft tires at first, and how do they compare towards the mediums that Bats the Silent are running? Were you able to kind of keep up with the medium compound runners, and what was your thoughts around there?
I mean, the start of the race, I mean, I felt like I was a little bit faster than them on the soft versus them being on the medium, but it wasn't like a huge difference. And then the last half of the race, the soft tire with lower fuel, it was a pretty big difference at that point. The soft tire was a pretty good bit faster. But yeah, I mean, I think medium to soft was a better strategy, but I mean, I just kind of went on soft to get track position.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the fourth podium in a row. It seems like if you can keep this consistency up, maybe grab a win here and there, you're still right within the battle with Just Jose not having a great showing here today, as well as Fire Flow. This kind of gives the edge to all three of you, which I think all three of you guys that finished on the podium have a shot at the championship. We're only round 7 of 15, so we're right around that halfway point between this race and next week, which is Hungary. Yeah, keep at it. I like the podiums. Consistency is key, so keep doing your thing. And we're gonna move to P number 1. Silent, congratulations on P1. It was last week. You almost had the win. This week you did grab the win over Bats Plus. I liked the little Uno reverse between last week and this week. What was the difference in you closing the deal maybe between last week and the strategy? Were you always going to be pitting that early, or did you pit that early based on Bats Plus pitting and you kind of responding? And yeah.
Honestly, the way I just played out the strategy was not necessarily based on this game, because I hadn't really done any running on this game, but based on last year's game, you could run the medium, and if you could basically match the pace of the guys on the soft with your medium tire, you're going to be in a really good place for the later stage in the race. And yeah, tried that here, and it worked perfectly fine. Probably could do a couple things better, but yeah, all in all, the soft tire came really strong with lower fuel, like Chargers had said, so that really just came to fruition. And what was your question? The other questions?
What was your, how did you end up closing the deal in this race compared to last week, and then just the strategy?
I think both Bats and I are probably hard racers, and also both tactical in our own ways. Because if you think about it, last week it was down to the final lap and who got the placement of the car. The last corners here at Silverstone, carbon copy of the same thing, where you placed your car. So yeah, that's really all it was. Unfortunately, these are 2 back-to-back DRS tracks, so if one car has more pace than the other, you can't really do anything. Whoever is behind is stuck there. But yeah, just I think we gotta give each other props for not ending up in a tire barrier or losing wing or whatever. We both battled each other hard, and like I said, it came down to tactics and car placement. So yeah.
Well, I want to piggyback this question. You say it's all about being tactical. How long have you been racing Bats Plus, and how much have you noticed his, I guess, certain style in racing? And Bats, if you want to jump in as well, you could as well. I know you guys raced each other a little bit last season, but anything prior? I mean, that goes a long way in league racing, I tell you.
I'd say I haven't really observed Bats in particular. It's just, I guess, experience, sort of. I've played the F1 game since like 2015, and I started league racing in 2017. And ironically, my first podium was actually at Austria on the F1 2017. So I would say it's more so experience than reading into what Bats Plus is doing. But at the same time, in order to execute a good race and win in whichever league you're in, you gotta get a grip of the grid that you're facing. So as far as Bats particular goes, I wouldn't say he's anything out of the ordinary from any other guy that I've raced against. I'd say he's just like any other competitor. So hard but fair racing, quick, knows what he's doing. So I don't think I'm doing anything different with him in particular, but I'd say I'm definitely a little bit probably more aggressive than Bats in that respect, and like racecraft or whatever you want to say. Might be a little bit more aggressive than him, but he's definitely a little bit more, I guess, conservative and wanting to not necessarily keep behind, but I guess
not make everyone lose time.
That, but also kind of live to fight another day is what I've always said.
Yeah,
so.
I like that. I like that quote. I might use it.
Live to fight another lap.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we only started racing against each other like a couple months before we both joined TCR.
Yeah.
And even then we were in different divisions because I was really slow and he was really fast. And then even then it was only a couple times when we were in the same race, and obviously I was like nowhere near the front and he was up near the front with a bunch of fast guys, so I don't know anything special other than what's gone on here when we raced against each other. So
interesting.
But as long as I know the other person's not going to drive into the side of my car on purpose, or like do something really stupid to spin me out, then I don't really mind who I race against.
As long as we're not cash apping some random.
Yeah.
Well, that's always a good sign. I wouldn't want anyone intentionally hitting into me either, and
Yeah.
there's a few
But I
guys
mean,
on the track where
like sliding the car.
I would not
Yeah,
want to
like
pass
people-
even on the DRS straight.
Yeah, but like people slide their car when they have no chance to pass, or they try to pass in the castle section on Baku or something like stupid like that. Those are the people who are not good to race against, but everyone else is pretty much cool. And I haven't had a problem with anyone here in these leagues, which is good.
Awesome. Well, Broom, did you have any questions for Silent? I know I kind of did a weird order tonight.
Yeah, of course, actually. Silent, first off, I want to say congrats on that win. That was a really good performance with you and Vats there. I mean, like, that battle was extraordinary until the final laps. You guys were side by side, until that final corner. Like, it was side by side all the way up until then. Wow, incredible. So, anyway, I wanted to just ask, what was your pace throughout that race, and basically what did it take to kind of defend against Bats? Because Bats was pressurizing you quite a bit, I saw, and you were defending as much as possible to keep him behind. And then I think it was like 2 laps to the end, he got past, but then you re-overtook him, and that battle continued on. But what was your motive coming into that? Like, what was your pace and trying to just defend as best as possible?
Shoot, to be honest, I didn't really know what the car's going to feel like. I actually forgot to say I have to thank Jose for giving me the setup tonight. I owe him a good thank you and a half for the setup he gave me. So, but yeah, the way I thought about the race, I just try to get a feeling for the car, keep it on track, and score whatever you can tonight. I wasn't trying to do anything ridiculous. I was just trying to score points, and because next week I'm not going to be home for the race, so I'm going out. So. My motto tonight was, you didn't really do too much. Just make sure you score points, and that was that. But once we got onto the race, I noticed the car started to feel the way I wanted it to feel for the most part. I wouldn't say it was spot on, but it was very, very drivable. And then I started to notice in the race that what is it? What's that? The corner. What corner is it? Basically, the back straight, the DRS back straight. If I had like a 5 to 6 tenths gap or more on Bats, I wasn't gonna have to worry. So I kind of had an eye on that gap most of the time. But yeah, that was really my only thought process throughout the race. So just managing that gap, and if that gap was between 5 to 7 tenths, I would be fine for the next lap as well. So yeah, there were certain corners where I knew I was quicker than Bats. Some corners or some sectors I was a little bit better than Bats in, and then others he would retaliate and get a bit closer. I'm not sure exactly how much it was DRS exactly, but yeah, I just knew that if I had 5 to 7 tenths on the back straight, I would be fine.
Except for the last lap.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that's some good stuff, good racing between all three of you and everyone from Golden. I just want a quick shout out to STX and Got Weeb and Lataupe as well. Some nice battling. TJ, a lot of good stuff here in Golden, and I was very glad to commentate over with Broom Handle. It was a lot of fun, a great race, and it came down to a 10th, which you love to see. Nothing more than that. Tomorrow is the Platinum class for their British Grand Prix. We'll be seeing Bats Plus in the lineup tomorrow as he's doing double duty as always here in TCR. We'll have, it seems like a wonderful mixture of commentators tomorrow. It's going to be Blinn, Machine as always. And we might even see Sequit. Which Sequit? No, if Sequit wants to do the commentary, but I'd rather see you race. Maybe you could do a little both. That would be kind of cool. You might also see Erickson Ethan from Silver as well. But that's going to be tomorrow, and the next week we go to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. That's always a fun one, at least for me. So that's next week. And other than that, any final thoughts, Broom, before we close this thing out?
Just want to say an amazing race it truly was, and thank you to all the viewers watching the stream, as always, from either Twitch or YouTube, of course. And I got to say thank you to all the drivers as well for putting on a great show. I also want to say thank you to all the admins as well. These guys do an incredible job as always. You guys are the best. You get the racing underway. It's a big job to try and get the racing underway. So thank you to everyone. So thanks for having me in TCR. Look forward to the next one I commentate on, and also look forward to Hungary as well, which will be next.
Well said. Well, yeah, thank you all for watching. We'll see you here tomorrow for the Platinum class. And until then, that's Broom Handle, and my name is Freeze, and we'll see you all tomorrow for the Platinum class. Until then, have a good night, everybody.